Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So let's begin with the third session of the Django Rest Framework series. I hope you are liking all these sessions, and it's a very valuable content which I am going to prepare for this e-commerce DRF React project. So let's begin with the coding part of it. So first and foremost, I have started my front end. So you have to just go to the CD folder and make sure that you are just starting your npm start, running npm start command, you are starting your front end server here. And one update I wanted to give you guys that whatever the project I am preparing it, so this specific link I'll be adding into the description below, the project code link. You can download it from my GitHub repository over there. And let's begin with the coding part of it. So if I started the server, you can see it has been started, it is running up to run, and there is no any errors. So now same thing, I want to start my backend server. So I'm just going to open the new command prompt terminal over here. So inside this, I'm just going to enter cd, that is the backend folder, cd backend folder. Then I need to go to the cd my env over here. Then I need to enter the command dot slash script script slash activate over here. So activating the virtual environment. Okay, activate. So once I have activated the virtual environment, so here I have given as double C. Let me remove this. So it has been activated. Again, I need to enter the cd e-commerce project. Then I need to run the command python manage.py run server over here. So I'm just starting my server for the backend over there. So once the server has been started, so you can see there is no error command. So if you get any error, like probably you would have been wrong path, so you would get some kind of an error if you are into a wrong path, or else you'll get a probably a specific output. The server has been started over there. So let's wait for it. So until unless, so let me come back to my front end screen, that is the home screen here. So in the last session, we have developed one specific API, right? So we have developed one specific API. So when we were going to this 127 dot port number 8000 slash API slash products. So when we were going to this specific link, you can see the server has started. So due to that, you can see the server has been started off my backend. Because of that, it is able to, I can able to see the products here. So this is something like a static product. Right now in this session itself, we'll create one database table to add the products, and we'll render the real-time data from this specific database, and we will be using serializers to serialize the data and show the real-time data into the front end. That we are going to do in the same session itself. We'll see that once I think the time will permit, because the video I don't want to keep it more than 1 hour. So coming back to this part now, so I'm just going to close this. So here you have a home screen. So I want to just bind this API to this home screen and review all the products over there. So that is the main agenda of right now. So coming here, so first and foremost, I wanted to create one specific container from it. So if I just go to the header.js file, so from this specific React Bootstrap, I wanted to import one container into the home screen here. So I'm just going to paste the same thing over here. So rather than a navbar, I wanted to use one container over here. So I'm going to make use of a container over here. So once I make use of a container, so I'm just going to map everything into the container over here. So I'm going to use the container over here. So I'm just going to open the container. So I'm just going to tell in the h1 tag over here. Okay. So if I just tell hi, you can see it is just giving some what has happened. You can give some kind of a thing it is happening over here. Okay. So it's all due to the specific extension. So I want to use one h1 tag here. Oh my god, I'm going to use one h1 tag. So I'm going to tell here as a my products. So I'm going to tell here as something like products over here. So I want to just display all the products over here. So once I save this, you can see here, if I refresh the page over here, so I'll be able to see the specific products over there. So maybe some error we are facing it. So what is the error? Let me check into our front end part. You can see it is a compilation error we are getting it over here. Okay, so basically like it's giving me some error like REST framework component source bootstrap min.phase. Basically it is not mapping perfectly from here. Okay, because we are running two specific server into the single terminal. Because of this maybe the reason. So what I'll be doing here is I'm just going to stop the server here, and I'm just going to start from the command prompt, from directly, not from the VJS code. I'm just going to go into this folder. Wherever you will be seeing this node modules public src, right? Just open that and just click onto here and open command prompt, cmd command prompt, and just start the server so that you can able to see all the things over here. Okay, so I'm going to use again npm start. You're going to start your terminal over here. You can see it has been started here. So here I have been stopped. I'm just going to simply close it over here. So I'm going to monitor my Python data into the terminal, and rest of the things I'm just going to monitor from here over there. Okay, so you can see it has been starting the development server. It has been started. So let's wait for it. You can see it has been started over here. So if I refresh over here, I was getting something untitled. Okay, it is just still starting it. Let's wait for it. You can see it has been started over here. So I can able to see the products over here. So because I want to keep a little bit right side, so I want to use this one as a product over there. So once I have been used the product, so now let's use the React specific use state and use effect concept to render this entire products into our front end application over there. Okay, so let's do that specific thing. So let me use one break tag from the top, so I can able to get one specific frames over here. So now I wanted to use the React framework concept over there. So coming back to here, so where we are returning these stuffs. Okay, fine. So here I am just going to get the data from the specific data over here. So first and foremost, I am going to use the concepts of use state over here. So I want to use the use state over here. So if I use a use state over here, so state use state, enter. So it is not importing it. Okay, it is not importing the use state. So it is imported. You can see on the top it has been imported over here. So I'm going to use the use state for setting a current product over there. Okay, so what is use state? You know, like use state is something like I'm just going to show you. So if I just use the const here, const specifically, I'm just going to tell you as a const products, comma. So I'm going to tell here as a set products over here. Const product and the set products is equals to, I'm going to use the use state over here. So use state over here. So I'm going to make use of the use state. So initially I'm just going to make my empty array over here. Whatever the array is there, I'm just going to make it as an empty. I'm not going to set anything right now. So it is nothing right now, right? So whenever we hit a specific API, we are going to take the specific product and we are just going to set this specific product over there. Okay. So imagine there was a button like if I just click the button, it has to take 1, 2, 3, 4. It has to display like that. So if initially I want to display 1 means at that time you will be using products. At that time you will initialize to 1. That means the product, the initial state is going to set to 1. So when you click on the button again, the state has to change it to 2, right? So what happens here? It is the set product is getting called. In the set product, the data is going to save it as a 2, and the same thing will be showing over there. So that is how the use state things works. So let's see deeply with this over there. So again, one more thing I wanted to install it from here. So I wanted to install the Axios over here. So if I just tell here as a npm Axios. Later we'll use Redux for fetching up data. So now right now I'll be using Axios package for talking to this specific API / product, so that I can able to fetch all the data from here and render it to the front end page over there. So first and foremost, I'm going to stop the server again. I'm just going to install npm install Axios over here. So you can install using npm I Axios. I is basically used for the install over there. Okay. So let me use npm I Axios over there. So once I run this command, once this specific package has been installed, then we can make use of this Axios and hit on to this API and render that data and just display it over there. Okay. So I think it has been started. It has been downloaded. So again, I'm just going to npm start. So the server is going to start over there. So you guys can try with the Visual Code itself. So mine is little bit okay. Laptop not that much high configured one. So because of a little bit conflict it is giving us. Okay. So in your case, it might be good working it if it is a better one. So you can see it has been starting again and again. So let's use this one over here. Okay. So now coming back to the code over here, let it start. So I'm using this product and set product. I have initialized to use state over here. So I'm going to use the concept of use effect over here. So I'll be using a concept of use effect over here. So when I call this use effect function, basically whenever the state is getting changed, at that time the use effect is getting called over here. Okay. So when I just use here, so if I just tell here as a console.log over here, if I just use console.log1 over here. Okay. So once I just right click and inspect the document. So at least one time it is going to run mainly. So I show you the console of here. So you can see I was able to print 1 over here. Basically, whenever I refresh if I just refresh the specific page, if I just go back to the cart over here, okay, again I'll come back to the home page. You can see whenever I come to whenever the home screen renders, whatever the current state is there, it is use effect is going to run. Okay, it is going to call automatically over here. This use effect is one of the user hook of the ReactJS. You can see it is going to activate whenever we are whenever the page renders or whenever the state of any specific use state is going to change its specific state. So at that time this use effect is going to run over there. Okay. So this is why we are using it over here. So you can see I'm getting no roots or match to this last location. Let's leave it that right now. We'll ignore the errors. Later we'll fix at the last. Now coming back to the concept here, so I'm going to use the useEffect here, right? So now here inside I need to use the Axios to call the hit the API which we have created that products, and I'm going to render the data to the front end over there. So that will be an asynchronous call. So I'm going to use the asynchronous call. That will be asynchronous function here is equals to, that is a fetch products. I'm just going to call a function name that is as a fetch products. So this specific function, it is going to call, what happens here is, so basically I need to call this specific API right now over there. So what I'll be doing here is I'm going to tell here as a const, I wanted to get the data is equals to, I'm going to use await. Whenever we are using a asynchronous await, it is to be a asynchronous call. So here I'm going to use a Axios over there. So Axios, okay, I have not imported the Axios, right? So I need to import the Axios. So I'm just going to tell here as a import Axios from the specific module, that is a Axios over here. So it's going to import the Axios over here. So in this specific Axios, so I'm going to use the Axios dot, it is a get request data. So I'm going to get this data. So what I'll do here is I'm going to copy this URL from, this is a API URL where I need to get all this specific data here. So in this, I'm just going to paste this, okay, I'm going to paste this data. So once I paste the data, okay, so once I paste the specific data, so let me show you what is the output we are going to get it over here. Okay, so if I just tell here as a console.log over here, that is a data over here. So I'm just going to get the data here. So once I save this, if I just come back to this server, if I refresh it, so the thing is working, everything is working fine. If I inspect element tool over here, if I just console.data, so you can see here, if I just go back here again, if I just come back, so you can see there is nothing happened right now because we are not calling this specific method. We are not calling this fetch product function, right? So I need to call this fetch product function. So I'm just going to call this fetch product method. So once I call this fetch product method, so if I just see, I'm getting an error here. So Axios error. So what is this? It's giving an Axios error over here. It's telling a violation force reflect to executing JavaScript took over here. So you can see it is giving me the error. Basically, if I just go to the network tab of it, so you can see I'm getting, whenever it is getting called, what is the error you can see here. So if I just go to the headers or response or header, so there will be basically a CORS, a course policy error, it might be there. So it is getting in the same origin and this is strict origin policy. Okay, let's see what is the error. How can we fix this specific thing over here? So basically we are getting like this over here, right? So here what I can use here is activate.await. So I'm just going to use this, I'll be using as a proxy, right? We're using as this kind of a proxy. So what I'll be doing here is simply I'll just use slash API. I'm going to use slash API slash, that is products over here. So this is a URL which we are calling for it. So I'm just going to save this. So once I save, you can see now the specific error has been gone. Basically what happened is we have already set this specific proxy. We have already set this specific proxy into the JSON file here. You can see the proxy has been set. So from here I can directly simply use here, rather than using entire URL, simply I can use, where is it, is a home, right, home screen. So simply rather than using everything, I can simply use this slash API slash products over there. So now if I just show you the console of it, so you can see I am returning an object. So basically you can see the data has been returning here. Okay, the status is 200. Okay, and if I show you the data here, you can see I was able to fetch the data product 1, product 2, product 3 in an API. You can see I am able to get it over here now. So now what I'll be doing here is, whatever the data we are getting it from this specific API, we are simply going to set this specific products over there. We are just going to set this specific products over here. So rather than console dot, I'm just going to use this set the specific products, whatever the product is, just set it to data, whatever the product is, whatever we are getting an object, just set it to over here. That is the only thing we have done now. So once it is done, now what I need to do over here, so basically we are getting this data, right? So this specific data I need to pass it to this use state. So I'll just simply going to use like this, so that whatever the data will get something, just store it in. If there is more data, we need to just store it into a form of an array. We need to pass it as an array here, right? So once it is done, now we need to bind that specific data now. So let me bind that entire data, whatever we got from a database. Let's bind it and just display the specific data into this home screen over here. For that, what I'll be doing here is here. So I'm just going to tell here, we have just use a h1 tag here, right? So I'm just going to use the row and columns concept of the bootstrap. So I'm just going to use the latest concept. It is a professional way how we can use row and columns from the React Bootstrap stuff. So I'm going to use here as a IMP. So from the specific React Bootstrap, press tab and just open the square brackets, get the row and get the calls of it. That is the row and columns of it over there. Okay, so row and calls of it. make sure when you are using a useEffect, if you get an error, make sure you are importing from the top over here. This is one of the important point to be noted. So now coming back to here, so now let's use the row and concept method from here. So I'm just going to use row row here. So this will be the row. So in a bootstrap, one row will be divided into 12 columns over there. Okay. So what I'll be doing here is, so first I'll get the whatever the products we are getting, whatever the products is there, right? So initially it will be empty. So when it is called, when this specific initially it will be empty. When this method is getting called fetch product, at least once the use effect is going to happen whenever the object state is getting changed. So at that time what happens, it is just going to set the state to the set product. So whatever the state is there, it is going to change. Once the API completes, all the data is going to just set it into the set product state over here. So what we can do here is, first I'm just going to call it to the products over here. So I'm going to, so whenever you wanted to access what is the state of the product, so it will be, you need to use the products over here. The second argument is going to change and update the latest one, and the products from where the first argument is something from where you can iterate the data. Okay, you can keep it into the main. I'm going to use the map function here. So I'll be using here a products.map map. So I wanted to map it. So whenever I map, so I'm going to get some like a product. So like from the product, I'm going to get every product, and it will be the function call over here. It will be the function call. So I'm going to use the product, that will be a function call over here. So from here I need to use the columns. I want to display 3 products or 4 products into a row. So I'll be using call. So whenever you're using map, you need to pass one specific primary key from here. So what is the primary key from here I can get it? So something, we have a /id, that is a unique, that I can pass it as a primary. So I'll just tell here the key is basically from the specific product dot underscore id will be the unique thing from here. Okay. And apart from that, I'm just going to tell, if it is a small screen, just use display all 12 products into it. And for the medium size, you need to use 6 specific products. Okay. Now ours is basically, it will be large. For a large screen, I need to use a 4 specific product I wanted to display. For the extra large, just use the 3 column, that is a 3 for one specific, that is basically display 3 products over here like that. Okay. I'm just going to close it over here. So the call is getting closed over here. I wanted to just show you the output of it. So I'm just going to use here as a h3 tag. So in the h3 tag, so I'm just going to show here as a product. So whatever the product we are entering, product dot. So I wanted to show you at least anything, something like a product name. I'm going to copy the product name. I'm just going to show you here. Okay. So product dot product name over here. So always use in the flower brackets to access this specific information from it. So I'm just going to save this. So if I just save it, if I come back to the here, so you can see I'm getting an error here. The products map not a function, it's products.map is not a function over here. Okay, I got it. So we have to use product. So this we have used as a products here, and dot map, and we're using a product here. We're calling a function, and we're just closing it back over here, right? So what is the error here? Let me check. Products here I have given as a products over here. Dot map. So let me refresh it. What is happening here? So let me, if I refresh it here, so okay, some error, we are getting conflict here. Yeah guys, so basically what was the error here is, because you can see when we are fetching a data, whenever we are getting a response, we need to use it in this format. It is not a variable. We need to use it as like this. We need to pass the square flower brackets over here. So once I save this, so you can able to see now what all the products we are having it. Now it is going to treat as a functions, and that data, it will be a function now, and it is from the function data, it is going to map it and display the products name into the home page. So you can see when I come to the home page, you can see I'm able to see camera, laptop, and the mobile over here. So I was able to retrieve this information and display that specific thing over here. Same thing if you want to display the category and the price, even you can do it here as well. So I can use here as a h6 tag. So I don't know why it's not working. h6. So if I use a h6 tag, so I can just use here as a product dot category. So I can display the specific product dot category. And if you want to display the price, even you can display the price as well. That is the specific product dot price price here as well. Okay. So once I save this specific data, so you can able to see into the home page. So you can say I was able to see the information of the camera electronics 500, and whatever the data we are having getting from the API, that specific data I was able to see it over into the home page over here. So right now let's pause this specific front end part here. Now let's get the real-time data from the Django framework, and let's see how we can get the real-time data from the database of that is we are going to use SQLite 3. So from that data, I wanted to set up products and I want to upload few of these specific product like 5 to 6 products. Then I want to get the real-time data. Then I wanted to display that real-time data of the our backend database and display into the front end part over here. So once I do this specific part, then I'll go move on to the front end page, that is a sign up and login page over there. Okay. So just I wanted to start with this. So I'm just starting with this specific part, the easiest way. So once we go to our backend folder now, so I'm going to close everything from the front end. I'm not going to touch anything into our front end right now. I'll just come back to our backend folder, e-commerce, e-com project, and the models.python file over here. So in the models.python file, I need to get the specific data now. So that is the one thing I need to do it. So let's get that specific, let's get that specific backend. Okay. Already have stored into this. I directly see whenever you are working on it, directly cannot type everything. If you face error, it will be very time consuming. So there will be always I will be planning it and I'll be preparing it. Then I'll be explaining these specific things. So now coming back to the first models here. So let me give you one introduction of the Django Rest Framework stuffs here. So basically we have a project, right? We know one project will be there. There can be n applications. So we saw the renderings, how it's happened. And we know what is admin. So whenever we are registering data, whenever we are registering the database tables, we do it into the administration, and models is a file where our entire database table structure we are going to prepare it here. Like when I wanted to say here, when I wanted to store the products into the database, so I'm going to keep the database table something like the name as a product or products, and we are having a columns into the database table, right? That is ID will be there, product name, categories, price. So these all the things will going to be there. So that structure we need to prepare into a folder that is always into your application, not into the project. In your applications, there will be a models.python file. So from where you can create your database tables over here. So let me use this specific thing over here. So first and foremost, I wanted to import one user model over here. So now we know in the Django there will be default user table will be there, so where we can store the user details of sign up login. That we'll discuss later. So right now we are going to import it from the django.contrib.auth.models. I'm just going to import the user table from here. So once I use the user table, so let's create this specific database table now. So I'm just going to create a class that is a products over here. So we are going to use a model. So models.model. Here we are going to write the Python code now. So first and foremost, we need to have a user, like which user uploading this specific product. So I'm going to use user is equals to, that is the model from this specific model dot. It is basically a foreign key. It is basically a foreign key. I'm just going to use foreign 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 key here. So this is going to be models.foreignKey key. Okay, models.foreign key. So in this models, we need to use here as a models.foreign key over here. So this is basically what this is going to be the first argument. So you know what is mean by primary kind of foreign key. Primary key is something which is not changeable. It will be unique. Foreign key is something like a duplicate of your primary key. So already we will be having a primary key from the user, like can be a username, can be a primary key, or if your username is a primary key. So based on here, the username is going to set here. So one specific person can upload 100 products with the same username, right? So that is why we are using a foreign key, that is a duplicate of your primary key of your user model. So I'm just going to use the model which from where I need to iterate from the user model. So basically I'm just going to apply one specific condition on delete. So what is mean by on delete? So whenever we delete the user, his entire product has to get deleted from our database. Okay, if the user is only the person, suppose we doing contract from other business, right? They are telling we are going to upload my products into your website. Okay, we are going to access. Suppose if the administration is deleting that specific user, then all of this specific product has to get deleted into our website as well. So we are going to tell here as a basically whenever we're deleting any user, if he has uploaded any products into our website, so I'm going to tell on delete the models.set null. So we are going to use as a set null. Okay, then I'm just going to maintain this is a null is equals to, I'm going to maintain here as a null. It can be a blank value as well, that is a null is equals to true over here. This is what we are going to set it over here. So on delete, we are just deleting that models.set null over here. Okay, Then once we have done, so then okay, there is no colon here. So now I need to just what is the product name, right? So I'm just going to use what is the product name over here. I'm going to use the product name is equals to same as equal models dot, that is will be a char field. So I'm going to use as a call char field here. So your product names cannot be null over there. Okay, it should be definitely there should be a project name. So I'm going to use as a max length length here. Length length. Max length is equals to, so I'm going to tell the maximum length of your product name can be 100 character, not more than that. Okay, so I'm going to use the maximum length of your character name can be 100, or you can give it as a 150 character over here. Okay, it cannot be null. I'm just going to keep it as a product name like this over there. Then I wanted to store the image as well. I want to store the product image. So for storing the image, we need to install one external module. The module here is pillow. So we'll install that. So first we'll write it this models dot I'm just going to use as a models dot image field. This will be, it can be null. So basically null is equals to, we can keep an empty image, that's fine. Even it cannot be, there cannot be any image, that can also be a fine. That is, I'm just telling null is equals to true, blank is equals to true over here. Then there will be a brand, product brand. So I'm going to tell it as a product brand. Always there will be a product brand, right? So product brand can be, I'm just going to use as a models dot okay, product brand models dot char field. Again it will be same, that is a product dot char field. It can be same thing. I'm just going to copy, I don't want to type it again, right, and again. So I'm going to use here as a max length, length length. Maximum length can be length. Okay, maximum length of this one can be, brand can be, at least there can be 100 character, comma, and it can be null is equals to true, blank is equals to true. I'm going to copy this entire stuff. Whenever we are using character field, I'll just simply use this. Okay, so the product brand will be there, and along with the product brand, I wanted to have a category as well. So that is a product category. So I'm going to use as a product category, CETO, or your category here is equals to, this can be a product, this can be also same thing. And product brand, product category, product name is been done. Then product description. So I wanted to add one specific description over there. So right now for the description, okay, so I'm going to use as a product description, or you can use a product information, whatever the product information. Product info is equals to models dot, you can use the text field here. So you can use a text field. Text field is going to allow you lot of big content. Here I'm not going to use any kind of thing over here. So I'm just going to remove this one. So I'm going to tell it can be any length, can be anything of this one. Okay, models dot text field over here. I think I need to give max length. Let's see if we get any errors, we can debug from here. So I'm going to give, it can be null also, right? It can be null also if the user doesn't want to give any information onto the product information. I'm just going to keep it as a null here. Fine. So once it is done, then description, then we'll need to have a rating here. So I'm just going to keep it as a rating here. So the rating is equals to, so whatever the rating of this specific product is there. So rating is equals to, it can be into decimal. So model dot, it will be the decimal field. Decimal field. So models, okay, I'm just going to use here as a models dot, it will be a decimal field over here, phi eld decimal field over here. And in this one, I'm just going to write the max digit. So what is the max digit of your decimal can be? So max digit is max digits is equals to, I'm going to give it as a maximum digit can be 5, and the decimal places. Okay, so I'm going to tell you as a decimal, basically max digit in the sense like if there are a 100 specific 100 ratings, like 1000 people have done, so 5 means at least 1000, or you can keep it as a 8 also, maximum we can keep it. And along with that, the decimal places we have, like how many decimal places you can, like 4.22 is a 2 decimal place, right? 4.222 is the 3 decimal places. So I'm going to use 2 decimal places. So I'm going to tell you as a decimal places is equals to, it can be 2 over here. Okay, then it can be same, null is equals to true, blank is equals to true can be there over here. So once it is done, then I wanted to have a another rating is done, and I wanted to have a number of reviews and price. I'm not going to copy a few other things from here. Okay, so already it is there, I don't want to type and waste the time. So imagine I wanted to just have a price also. The price can be a decimal field, so where it can be 7 digit and decimal places will be 2, and this one. So basically what is the price and counter in stock over here. So I'm going to tell you as a in stock over here, or else I'm just going to tell you as a stock count. Stock count is equals to module dot integer field, like how many stocks of the specific products are there and when it is created, and for every ID we are going to create one auto primary key. So when we are creating a product, default it will create a primary key whenever we specifically create any kind of a object. Here underscore id is mainly we are just creating our own id name here. We are just passing our own id name. It can be slash id here, and it will be primary key, and editable, it can be editables too, for we cannot edit this specific data. Okay, this is the primary key where we are setting it over here. So every specific thing has to return something. Every object is going to return something, right? I don't want to return an object. I wanted to return an object string str. So this is going to be self self, and return the retu and return this self dot product name. I want to return this specific self dot product name over here. So this is what we have prepared it. We have prepared the product tables here. Basically, when we are talking about an object oriented programming, you guys know, like we will be creating a class and a class name here. Same thing we did, and we are having a data here. That is basically a data members of the class. And whenever I am adding any one project, right, that is going to treat as an object. So for one specific class, this is a class prototype. When we are adding some kind of a product, that is basically we are creating an object. So in the real time work, the object is something like some kind of a data here. So one specific data, one product details. So like this, the real time it is going to work. So once it is done, so I'm just going to save this. Now I'm just going to stop the server into my, I'm just going to open the terminal here. So I'm just going to stop this server. So you can see I'm getting an error, that is the field init is got where is it getting here. So the super, okay, basically it is getting some error at max length. Okay, length. So for the max length, I have given a spelling over here. So I'm just going to use Control F. length is the right. Wherever we have max length, I'll just give the correct spelling here. So for here, I'm just going to use length, length, right? So I'm just going to replace with this one. Okay. So it has been saved now. So once I save this, it is starting. It will be definitely it is going to start. So I'm going to stop the server right now. So I'm just going to stop the server right now. So in this server, I'm going to install one specific module, that is a pillow module. So that is, I need to install pip install pillow pillow. So what pillow is going to allow you to save the specific images over there. Okay, so I'm just going to install the pillow module. So you can see it is installing the pillow module. So once it is started, so I'm just going to start the server, python manage.py start server. So your server is up to run starting over there. So one thing, whenever I create any kind of a data, whenever I create any kind of a database table, I need to apply the migrations, and I need to migrate this database table to my administration over there. So for that, let's do that specific part here itself. So I'm going to stop the server. So this is a very important command to create the migrations. So I'm going to tell here as a python manage.py make migrations. So I'm going to enter python manage.py make migrations. So we have created right now a product table. That product table is going to migrate. You can see the created the model by the name that is products. We have created this one. Then I need to run the same command with the manage.py migrate. We need to use mig or ate migrate here. So when I apply python manage.py migrate, it is going to apply the migration for this over there. So right now we don't have any UI from here. Later we'll see we can upload the product from here itself to their database. That we'll see with the CRUD operation that will be completed there. But right now we don't have any something like that. So what we're going to do, we are just going to use our default administration. So I'm just going to tell here as a python manage.py create super user over here. We are creating a super user over there. So it is asking me the username here. So I'm going to use as a username is a ARK procoder. Okay, ARK procoder. Email address, I'm just going to tell arkprocoder@gmail.com. And I'm just going to give the password here as a ANES. I'm just going to give it as a Y and enter it over here. We have created a super user successfully. So now we have migrated the database table. Then we have created a super user as well for login and upload the products. Now let's begin with this concept and start uploading it over there. So once I upload it, once I just start the server, you can see it has been started the server over there. Okay, so you can see it has been started the server. So coming back to our thing, now you can see there is a URL. We have a default URL. Now we need to go to the same URL 127. Port number 8000, and we need to go to the /admin over here. We need to go to the /admin. So /admin is basically a Django administration over here. You can see, oh nice, you can see it has been given it has been in new features. You can see light theme, dark theme has always been important. Let's use the dark theme over here. Okay, nice. So I'm going to pass the ARK procoder I have given, then ANES. Once I log in it, you can see I was logged in into my administration. So you can see I have logged in into my administration over there. So in our administration, you can see there is a users table, the default users table. The user is right now, I am only the user, the only one user details it has been showing here, and not much. So okay, it has been done. So now what we need to do over here? So next we need to show the products table here. For that, what I'll do here is I'll just go to my specific administration here. So from here, I'm just going to tell here as a first I'm going to import the products. So I'm just going to import the specific products. I'm going to tell from the specific ecom. I'm going to tell from ecom app. It is a ecom app dot, right? From the ecom app dot models models. Yeah, I need to import the products. I want to just import this specific table that is a products over here, right? I have just imported this products from here. Or as you can just tell here simply like from dot models, models dot models, you can import the products over here. That is also fine. And I'm going to tell you as a admin dot site dot just register the specific database table into my administration. So once I save this, if I show you, there is no errors here, and coming back to here, if I refresh this, you'll be able to see that product title. Wow, you can see I was able to see the product stuff over here. You can see I can able to add these specific products into my Django administration. You can see I can select the user who is adding it, and I can add all the product details over here. So this is how the thing is going to work. Okay, that's great, right? Yeah. So now first and foremost, when we are talking about something, like when we are saying like, okay, we are going to so where you are going to store the products image, that is very important. It is a challenging point in Django. So we will be, when I add the data, so it is somewhere it is just going to store the images. So basically it has to store into the folder, some folder. So that specific configuration is very important, which I am going to try show you right now over here. So I'll just tell here in this specific first I'll just come back to my settings.python file of your code. I'm just going to come back to the settings. Here I'm just going to add the configuration path for this one. Okay, so I'm going to tell here as a I'm just going to tell here as I wanted to create one specific URL for storing the images. Okay, for storing one specific images over here. So what I'll do here is in this specific folder, I'm just going to create, see in this project folder, I'm just going to create a folder by the name static. Okay, I'm just going to create a by the name that is a static over here. Okay, so this static folder, I wanted to just store it the images and just parse it to the front end folder. So what I'll do here is I'm just going to create one media URL. So I'm going to tell you as a I'm just going to create one media URL. Media URL is equals to, so just create one new folder by the name that is the images over here. So images, I'm just going to create one folder by the name that is images over here. So in this specific images, so whenever I upload any project, images folder is going to create, and just it will just store it over there. So for that, I'm just going to create it here as a stat as a static. So I'm going to tell it as a static files configuration. So static files, yeah, not configuration, it is a dirs. Static files is equals to, whenever we are finding this, whenever we are having, so just use as a base directory. Okay, which folder you need to use it as a base directory. A static folder which I have created. So just use that specific folder to store all the images kind of things over there. This is the configuration has been done. So again, I'm just going to tell there will be one media root. So I'm going to tell here as a media root is equals to, in this I'm going to tell as a you need to use a static folder for finding a media data, and you need to go to a folder that the name that is called as a images folder over here. So this is what we are just going to show over here. Okay, and whenever we are passing the data from the backend to the front end, so here also I need to use one specific image that is a CORS allow all origin. Okay, CORS allow all origin is equals to true. So basically I want to just pass the data here, right? So images also CORS allow all origin is equals to true. You have to set it over here. This is the configuration you have to set. If I just show you any error, no error into our backend. Once I save this data, we have done the configuration. Here is, I hope all the spellings are correct. Now coming back to your e-commerce application, not application, into your project where you will be having a settings.python file. You are having a URLs here, right? So in this URL, I'm just going to import a few of these stuffs over here. What is the stuffs you need to import it over here? So I'm just going to import this from django.conf import the settings. from the django.configuration.urls.static, I am just going to import this specific static data. Whatever we have a static data, I'm just going to import this static data to our URLs over here. And along with the URL, along with the API data, so I wanted to transfer all kind of images like files content. So for that, I'm just going to use one specific pattern over here. So we are just going to tell whatever we are having a URL patterns, right? So we are having a URL patterns. Along with this URL pattern, I need to pass the static data also. I need to pass the static data. So that is nothing but from this settings module, we have a media directory, right? That is a from this specific settings, we are having a media URL. So I need to just pass this media URL. So I need to just pass this media URLs also. I need to just serve. Along with that, I need to serve the settings done. Along with that, I need to just serve the media root. That is what here, the media root. I need to serve this specific content as well. Okay, I'm just going to save this. I'm just going to save, and I'm just going to save this specific data. So once I save this one, so all the things has been done. So now I can able to start uploading the products over here. You can see I'm getting an error here. Okay, it is telling me you need to, it must be a callable list or a tuple in case you are including over here. Okay, I'm just going to, okay, URLs param plus or minus. Okay, here as a, I need to pass something like, we are just going to pass first argument settings.media rule. Then we need to pass the document root here. So we need to just pass the document root is equals to settings.media root. Okay, now I hope there will be no error. Okay, let me stop the server and start the server again. So whenever you stuck with the error, whenever you does change, so you can just restart the server. So you can see there is no errors now. That's fine. Let's come back to our product. Let's upload 1, 2, 3 products. I'm just going to upload the product. I'm just going to upload the camera here. So I'm just going to select from the choose files. Let's see. Okay, I have in this way, right? How can I select the camera? Okay, view. I wanted to just use some medium icons. Okay, now I can able to see some images here. So let me see where I have a, I'm just going to upload the earbuds over there. Okay, I think I have a camera as well. Okay, I'm just going to upload this specific camera. So I'm just going to open this specific camera. It has been dss.jpg. So what is the brand? I'm just going to tell as a brand is a DSLR. I don't know the brand, or else I'll just tell the brand is Samsung. I don't know Samsung has cameras or not. Okay, product category is the DSLR. So DSLR is our product category, and product information. So I'll just go to the ChatGPT. I'll just tell here as a give camera DSLR info. So if I just tell to the DSLR ChatGPT info, so I can see it is giving a lot of things. So I'm just going to copy few of the things from here and simply paste over here. So I'm going to give the rating is a 5 here, and the price is 50,000, and the how many stocks I have 15 stocks. I'm just going to simply click onto the save. Wow, we can see once I save this data, the product is been saved over here. Same way, I'm just going to add one more product. I'm just going to add the product that is the earbuds, and I'm just going to select one specific file for it. So where is the earbuds is here, which I have found. Or okay, I'm just going to store this. Okay, I'm just going to do again. I'm just going to store the camera itself. So this time I'm just going to store this specific camera. So again, I'm just going to tell you as a camera, or else I just tell you a zoom camera. Okay, zoom camera. Okay, product name is a zoom camera. So what is the product brand? Product brand is again, I'm going to use it as a Samsung. I'm going to keep the Samsung. Category is again DSLR category. So again, I'm just going to same paste kind of an information and give some rating here as 4.5, and I'm going to give the price is equals to 65,000, stocks or 25. I'm just going to save it over here. So we have two camera. So again, I will add one more category. So I'll just tell here as a product name here is earbuds. I'm going to use as a earbuds buds here, and I'm just going to save that image earbuds over here. I'm going to save this image. Brand, what is the brand? I'm going to tell a BOULT Bolt. Okay, BOULT Bolt is this one. Category is earbuds, and information same. I'll use ChatGPT. So I'll just tell here as give me the information on earbuds Bolt. Once I save and submit, so just give it like Okay, I got something here. I'm just going to copy this and paste the specific content over here and remove this stuffs. Give the rating. So I'll give it as a 3.5 is the rating. I'll give the price is 500 rupee and the stocks are 100. So I'm just going to save this one. So now we have a 3 specific products into our database. So I wanted to show you something here. So let's come back into our EU here in our project. If I open the folder static, you can see there was an images folder got created and you can see all the images where I'm uploading that is coming and it is just saving it into our static folder over here. You can see it is just coming and saving it over here. Okay, so this is how the power of your code, and this is all the things we are going to use the static folder. Basically SQLite 3 is a file structure database. So in this way, if you open it and you can see, if I just click onto this, you can see it is just storing into the slash images and earbuds over here. In this way the URL is been getting stored. This we have already configured into our settings.py file over here. You can see we have configured here. URL should be into the images folder. My media URL should be the slash image folder over here, like that. Now this is the part is done. The major part has been completed. So let me see how much minutes has been done. Okay, 45 minutes have been uploaded from this one. Okay, let me use the same the serializers part, and this specific displaying I'll do it in the next video. But at least I want to hit an API. When I hit this API, I wanted to load entire database details and just show the real-time data here, not just duplicate products here. So that is what I wanted to do it here. So that's we'll discuss right now. So for that specific thing, what is the next thing you need to perform into it here? So we need to create we need to go to our urls.python files and we need to just serialize that specific data over there right now. Okay, so that's that specific part. Let's do it into the same session. Okay guys, so coming back to my Visual Studio Code here. So you need to go to your front end, sorry, not in the front end, backend. Just go to your ecom application. This is our e-commerce application. So where we are writing our entire backend code, right? So in our application, I'm just going to create one new file. I'm just going to name it as a serializer. Serial. So what is the CSC or IAL? I'm going to get confused because I'm very weak at English and the spellings. So I'm just going to see and just type it. Okay, so okay, serializers.python file. We have created a serializers.python file where we are going to serialize all the product data and just render it back over there. So in a serialized.beta data, so I'm going to use from the specific REST framework. From the specific REST framework, I need to import the concept of the serializers over here. So once I import the serializers again from the specific Django dot contrib dot models, I need to import the users as well. I need to import the user here. I think it's not necessary, the users, fine. So okay, from this specific database, now we have a database table where here, right, this is the product database table. From here I'm just going to simply import this product details. So I'm going to tell from dot models, I'm just going to import the products over here. So once I import this specific products, so now I need to just serialize it and just pass it to the front end, the back end. That's it, very easy. So for that, I'm just going to use one class here. So that is, I'm going to use the product serializers, serial serial serializer, right? Serializer. So this is a data I'm going to use. So here I'm just going to use the serializers dot model serializers, which is the model you need to serialize. So here I'm just going to use as a class meta. So class meta. So I'm just going to tell metadata. So here I need to just pass which is the model you need to serialize. So I'm just going to use it here as a model. And in this, I'm just going to tell which is the model. So I want to basically use this database table, what all the product data I want to just middle. So which all the columns you need to serialize it. I'm just going to tell, I'm going to serialize all the fields. I'm going to tell fields is basically, I'm just going to use it here as a, okay, all. I'm just going to use field is equals to all over here. That's it. So once I pass this, I think all the things are perfect. So once I save it, if I just do it, there is no any change, no any errors. So you can see I've just tell here as a field is equals to all. Okay, yeah, that is correct. So once I have done this specific thing, I don't want this user because I'm not using it, simply I imported it. I'm just going to remove it. Now come back to your views.python file here. So once I come back to the views.python file, so it's very simple. Now whatever the serializers we have prepared, we'll just simply call and we'll just parse it over here. So again, I'm just going to tell here from this specific from dot serializers, I wanted to import, which is a serializer we have created, that is a product serializer. I'm just going to copy this product serializer over here. So once I use this product serializer, so how I'm going to use it over here, and again I need to import the So this I'm just going to remove it. So this product.py file is there. It is a static data. I'm simply going to delete it. You can keep it or you can delete it. So I'll be keeping it for your understanding purpose. You can use it. So right now what I'll be doing here is in the views.python file, it is there. I'm just going to simply comment it. Okay, I don't want to use this product for now. So I want to use a real-time data now. So I'm going to tell you as from dot models, I'm just going to import the products specific function, products class and serializer class. We have imported both now. So whenever we get whenever there is a hitting this specific API, right? So whenever we are hitting this specific API, that is a get products API. So what it has to do, it has to create again the same, that is a products. So I'm going to tell you as a PRODUCT products is equals to, so products.objects.all, products.objects.all. So whenever we are using products.objects.all, it is going to render all the products object and it is going to give it here as an object over here. Now that specific object, I need to just serialize it over there. That's it. So I'm just going to tell here as a serial serializer is equals to. So this is basically not a serializer which we are using here. This is not that serializer. This is simply a variable name. Okay, don't get confused. So in this serializer, so what I'll do here is I'm just going to use this specific product serializer. So in this specific product serializer, I'm just going to parse it over here. Imagine we just prepared one all that product. I want to just using mixer to grind it everything. So this is a serializer, something kind of mixture where we are serializing all the objects and get all the data. So how many things are there here? So we have many ingredients into our mixture. So same way I'm just going to tell you the many is equals to true over here. That's it. So we got a serializer over here. So once we got this serializer, so we need to response, we need to just send the serializers dot data over here. So whatever the data will be there, that I need to send it back over here. You can see everything is working perfectly. If I show you the output now, if I just come back now, if I just refresh, oh, I got an error by saying, what is error? Meta.model attribute. So assertion error at the API/product. So this is assertion error meta.model. Okay, meta.model. Something I found, I did some mistake in this file serializer. That is, we are having a class meta model model. Okay, we are using colon here. It is not a dictionary, right? Oh my god, I'm just using this one. So field is equals to true. So I need to use equals to here. So that is what the error. So once I save, refresh, wow, boom, you can see I was able to get the entire real-time API data. These are real-time API data that is coming from the database over here, and we are getting it and just passing it over here. Let's come back to my front end. If I refresh now, we can able to see the real-time data it is getting rendered, guys. You can see camera 5000 and zoom camera. You can see some data, right? Real-time data is getting it here. You can see whatever the data here. If I just pause the more information product info, if I just come back to my front end and if I just go to the SRC components screen, home screen, if I just pass the specific description also, now I can able to see real-time data here. We are rendering it here. You can see I was able to render the real-time data. That's great, right? When you can pass the image also, images also will going to come over here. Okay, so this is how the thing which we are going to, which we have learned, and this is what those stuffs to be there. So let me introduce the image also. Let me show the image also, how can I render it and show you over that. So for that, I think I can use the image attribute. Let me check how it is. What is that? So we'll just go to, okay, components, home screen. I wanted to just display anyhow the specific image also. So for that image, so I can use this specific image directly. So image, where is that image? Yeah, I got it. So basically I'm going to import one specific stuff, that is a card over here. So inside this itself, I'm just going to import one specific card. So that is, I'm going to use a card over here. So in this, before the product name, I wanted to use the image over there. Okay. So for that, I'm just going to use one image stuff. So you can, no need of using card. I think not necessary, right? Because I wanted to keep everything into a card body. For right now, I'm going to use some different method to use display the products. Right now, just I wanted to show you the image also. I'm just going to simply use the anchor tags over here. So in the anchor tags, I'm just going to pass the image over there. Okay. So I don't want any anchor tag to be there. Just I wanted to pass the SRC, the product image. I wanted to just show it here. So I'm just going to use image. Okay, rather than I'm just going to use an image over here, image tag. In the SRC, I'm just going to pass the product image. So I'm going to use it as a product, PRODUCT product .img image over here. So this I'm going to use a product.image. I think I have used the same name here. So if I show you the image, I have just simply used an image here. So if I use the product image, and I can just simply pass like this. So in this, I'm going to remove this src, that this pass, and if I just save it and remove this specific thing, if I come back and if I show you, boom, you can see I was able to see the images here, but it's not coming exactly which we were expecting over here. So for that, I'm just going to use the card also. So I'm just going to use it as a card, and I'm just going to use it. So I'll use I'm just going to import the specific card right now, and this specific image is there, right? So I'm just going to branding back into inside the card over there. Okay, so I'm just going to close this specific card over there. So let's see now how it is going to come. You can see now it is coming perfectly. Okay, I'm just vending this data into the card right now. So you can see the real-time data images, I was able to load it from the specific API and just render it into our HTML pages here. So this is how the one specific, like a lot of things we have learned into this session. It was a very important session as compared to the previous two. We have learned a lot of stuffs here, and we'll improve an entire web page here and into the coming videos. In the next session, we are going to discuss about more onto this one. So we'll just create another page for this showing kind of products, and we'll just, when I click onto this, I need to see all the information of the products. That thing will integrate next into the next session. Then we'll start beginning with our authentication, sign up, login purpose over there. Take care, bye bye, and please subscribe to my channel if you are liking it, and share with your friends. I'll upload this entire code link into the description. Take care, bye bye.